You ever heard the Kennedy speech about secret societies? It's fucking creepy. When it turns out that he eventually gets murdered, it's creepy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations.
Operation Northwoods was a U.S. government plan of orchestrated terror attacks on its own citizens. The false flag operation with the intention of starting a war with Cuba.
When you look into like Operation Northwoods and you find out that the government really was planning false flag attacks, the idea that you were going to attack American civilians, that you were going to arm Cuban friendlies and attack Guantanamo Bay, that you were going to blow up a drone airliner, these were all proposed things.
The plan signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff involved shooting and bombing U.S. civilians, attacking Guantanamo Bay, and shooting down a drone airliner. So why would elements of the U.S. military want to attack itself and innocent Americans? Well, by committing terror attacks on its own people and framing Castro, U.S. intelligence would have the public support needed to justify military intervention in Cuba. These terror attacks were one single executive signature away from becoming reality. Thanks to no other than JFK, Operation Northwoods was never implemented.
And basically every president since Kennedy, they have been successful in what they call fearing up.
Following presentation of the Northwoods plan, Kennedy fired the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Lemnitzer.
The intelligence community wants to assassinate somebody. They want to run this illegal program here, there, or everywhere. And they can't do it because they're executive agencies without that top-level executive sign-off.
Kennedy was increasingly unpopular with some of the most powerful and corrupt institutions. The president was quoted saying he desired to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. In Executive Order 11110, he famously tried to take the U.S. off of Federal Reserve notes and into a silver-backed currency system. President Kennedy was challenging the military-industrial complex, the CIA, and the Federal Reserve.
If you've got the IC against you, right, they can stonewall you, they can put out stories that are going to be problematic for you every day of your presidency. But it's a problem that as a president, you very much don't want.
While the Warren Commission and media found that Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy alone, the House of Representatives Select Committee on Assassinations found a high probability that 2 gunmen fired at President Kennedy. It also found Kennedy was probably assassinated as a result of conspiracy.
After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy, our nation turned to Gerald Ford and a select handful of others to make sense of that madness. And the conspiracy theorists can say what they will, but the Warren Commission report will always have the final, definitive say on this tragic matter.
And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations.